So let's just do the basics first. What is lucid dreaming?
Yeah. So a lucid dream is any dream where you know that you're dreaming as the dream is happening without waking up. So if you've ever had a dream where you're in the dream, you're totally asleep, but in the dream you go, oh, wow, this is all a dream. And then you can choose what to do. I can choose to fly. I can choose to, have sex with movie stars. You do all that stuff first, if you like. But then you realize, wow, I'm inside my mind. So this is like the state that a hypnotherapist would bring me into. I'm conscious within the unconscious mind. I'm literally inside a virtual reality simulation of my own psychology. So you can now do serious work. You can do it, all the work you can do through hypnotherapy, you can do through lucid dreaming. But in many cases, that actually works a bit deeper, simply because you can't get more unconscious than asleep. So a lucid dream is any dream where you know that you're dreaming as the dream is happening. What is it not? It's not just a really vivid dream. So sometimes people are like, oh, I have really lucid dreams. And when you use really as kind of like, is that an adjective? Dyslexic. If you use it in that way, the descriptor, I kind of know they're probably talking about vivid dreaming. It's not just a vivid dream. It's not a dream where you see future events and they come true, although that can happen in lucid dreams. And it's not an out-of-body experience. It's simply any dream where in the dream you go, oh, wow, I'm dreaming. And many people of your listeners, your viewers will have had that, and many won't. And for those who haven't had that or don't remember having it, I'd ask them, have they ever had a nightmare where in the nightmare they've gone, I've got to wake up? Because if you have, that was a lucid dream too. Because the moment you acknowledge, oh, there's somewhere to wake up to, you could indirectly acknowledge, well, then I'm asleep. And of course, that's missing a real gift. Because if you wake yourself from a nightmare, the unintegrated trauma that caused the nightmare remains unintegrated. And that's why our nightmares recur. Whereas if you can become lucid in the nightmare, oh, I've got to wake up. Wait, no, I don't got to wake up. I've got to stay in here and witness this nightmare. Then the act of witnessing, in the same way as a therapist in the waking state says, tell me what happened. And then by speaking it out loud and witnessing it from the point of safety of the therapeutic dyad, trauma could be integrated. So too in a lucid dream. So if you do ever get lucid in the nightmare, don't wake up. Just stay there and witness. Okay, I'm safe. I'm not really back in this nightmare situation. I'm simply dreaming it, and just witness.
Well, that's very interesting that you're saying, and it was actually one of my questions. What about nightmares? Because I've had all sorts of, or not all sorts of, but many different lucid dreams. And in the beginning, there were a lot of wonderful experiences. Like I experienced realities that I haven't experienced here that were much more magnificent than I've ever experienced. But then I also had some so-called negative experiences, which frightened me a bit. And then I got so fearful and I lost some inspiration to do it again and again, because I sort of couldn't get past that. And there would be some entities or energies that would come up and try to distract me. So could you take us a little bit through how this can be experienced? Because it can be quite not a shocking experience, but an extraordinary experience to be lucid for the first time. And you can meet anything. But what you're saying is that don't be afraid, observe whatever is coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting there that you use the term negative to describe those dreams. I would ask you to reframe it and say, actually, the dreams where you had these amazing experiences, that was the warm-up. The real work happened in those seemingly negative dreams, because that's where the work happens. If I get lucid in a dream, let's say I'm having a dream, I'm sunbathing on the beach, and then my dead grandma comes out the water and I go, oh, wait, I'm dreaming. And then I become lucid in this beach where I'm sunbathing. It's kind of a cool lucid dream. And wow, the beach is so real. I can feel the sand. This is so cool. But there's not a lot's happening. I'm not integrating a lot. I'm not developing a lot. Whereas if I get lucid in like a zombie apocalypse, or if I get lucid in this nightmare where like a murderer is coming to get me, and then I realize I'm dreaming, that's the gold. Because what is that murderer? Well, everything in the dream is me, or 99% of everything in the dream is me. So then what is that murderer? Well, it's a murderous part of me. It's a wounded part of me. It's a part that is so traumatized from something that happened in my past that it is now using violence and aggression against itself. So suddenly in that lucid dream where you're being chased by a murderer, you can do more in one lucid dream than hundreds of hours of therapy. Because if you see that that murderer is not an external energy, it is a murderous, because of trauma, traumatized part of yourself, and you turn on that murderous aspect and embrace it with love. Don't fight it, don't push it away, but show it love. Then you can do powerful integrative work. I realize because I used the 99% comment, I'm now going to have to mention what the other 1% is. So this may be, you know, these percentiles I'm using kind of flippantly, but what I'm saying is the vast majority, almost everything in a lucid dream is your mind. In an outer body experience, those percentages are flipped. In a genuine outer body experience, it's 99% not your mind, you know, but a lucid dream, you're in here, you're not out there. So it is your psychology, most of it. However, there is a crucial 1%, maybe it's 1%, maybe it's 10%, who knows, but a small, very, very a minority percentile, which might not be you. And that might be made up of aspects of the collective unconscious. It might be made up of aspects of your ancestors, your blood and bone ancestors. It might be made up of the aspects of enlightened beings who have the ability to enter your dreams. So the next thing comes up, well, what if I'm in one of those nightmares and this big like devil appears, or Satan? And what if it's actually Satan? What if it is the collective unconscious archetype of Satan that's in my dream? Then I can't hug it, surely. No, the same rule applies. If in that 1 in a gazillion chance you're in a lucid dream and actually some kind of presence of evil, if you want to call it that, of course it's not, it's just trauma. There is no evil. This is the Buddhist view. There is no evil. There's simply traumatized energy that plays out in ways that are very destructive. But let's say that you were lucky enough to be in a lucid dream and actually you did meet this presence of evil in the lucid dream. Then God, if you try and fight that thing, you're in a very difficult situation. But if you use love, the most powerful energy in the universe, you could do transformative work. I mean, imagine if you were able to send love and hug the archetypal shadow, the archetypal Satan in your lucid dream. You might wake up to world peace. So even in that case, the same rules apply. Now, I've been teaching this stuff for like 15 years, right? Using this same example. But just last year, or maybe the year before, my own Buddhist teacher, I managed to get him to come and talk to a group in this online course I was doing called Super Lucidity. It was like advanced lucid dreaming course. And he got asked this question. And as it came up, I felt myself like blushing, like, oh shit, I hope he says the same answer. Because what if he completely contradicts me? And I've been telling people, what if he goes, you know, never hug it, it's evil. And he got her to repeat the question. He went, so you're in the dream and you're definitely sure it's not your mind. It is that tiny, tiny possibility that it is some archetypal evil presence. And she goes, yes. And I'm like, oh God, what's he going to say? And he goes, then you show the biggest love you can. Then, and he said to recite this certain mantra of love in Tibetan Buddhism, Om Mani Padme Hum, or Om Mani Padme Hum. So yes, this is the Buddhist view. And I know this is very different. There might be, shamanic practitioners watching this going, no way. If you meet anything that's scary in the lucid dream, you fight it, you push it away, you do a circle of energy around yourself. That's just not the Buddhist view. The Buddhist view is that there is no evil energy. There's just traumatized people and traumatized energy. And the only way to integrate trauma is with love.
I mean, it does resonate that you meet everything with love and not, fight and war.
Yeah.
Like that makes so much sense to me. And it was interesting that you said that it's a difference between out-of-body experiences and lucid dreaming, because I've interviewed Jade Shaw.
Yeah, my ex-wife.
Sorry?
My ex-wife, Jade.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I didn't know you had broken up. I was going to know it was a long time ago.
I didn't know that. I thought you were just friends.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's so nice. Okay, yeah.
And what did she say? Are we on the same page with that? Did she get the same question about if you meet an entity?
About the entity part. We didn't speak about that.
Oh, okay.
We spoke more about what the astral realm is and what you can do. But I just get curious because I thought it was the same thing. I thought it was just the way you get into the astral world, like either that you wake it up in a dream or you just move consciously out of your body. But you're saying that it's actually in your mind and out of body. It's actually out of your body.
Yeah, the places are definitely different. It's like a lot of the techniques for getting to lucid dream state and the out of body state, they start the same way. There are often certain affirmations you do, energy work you do in the hypnagogic or hypnopompic, which is falling asleep and waking up states. However, at the point of entry, the lucid dream goes in and the outer body goes out. So they're similar techniques, but in a genuine outer body experience, you're not in your mind anymore.
To watch the full video, click the link below, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.
Resto maliata falia.